A good Tuesday afternoon, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. It represents 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the big picture at this hour and on this Tuesday afternoon, early afternoon, and what we can see is right now temperature is relatively warm and spring-like across a good section of the lower 48 United States. The hottest temperatures, or the heat indices, are down in the Gulf coastal regions. Some of that's going to try to make a run and perk up and maybe arrive in about a week from now, or a little bit less than a week. Otherwise, we're looking at conditions, also seeing a little bit of sporadic rain shower activity. And even north of Quebec City, there could even actually be a little bit of snow, and it could even be a little bit of snowfall in the Connecticut Lakes region happening later overnight tonight. A little cold punch of air. This is a pretty significant trough of lower pressure that's going to be working its way out of the region. It's going to open the door for this sort of weak ridging, and that's going to form a ridge from off the Atlantic Ocean and bring us a beautiful Wednesday. In fact, a really good project weather day during the day tomorrow. And we do have a roller coaster ride of sorts, so I'm going to run you through some of the more anomalous temperatures. On the right, we have the GFS ensemble, the European on the left-hand side. And this is valid later this evening. You can see below normal temperatures have moved in with this influx of colder Canadian air. That's going to be with us for a while, kind of pulsating along. Looks like the coldest day in our neck of the woods here in northern New England. The GFS ensemble as well as the European on top of that by Thursday afternoon. That's going to be probably see temperatures basically in the low to mid 50s at that point. And then that begins to work on out of the region. We start to see basically a warm-up. That warm-up is going to work in for this coming weekend, and especially notable along about Saturday. Take a look at that. The European model, especially notable, is going for about 25 degrees above normal. And you can see the GFS ensemble is also indicating a pretty good warm-up. And then following that on Sunday, we're looking at potentially some strong, locally severe thunderstorms with the right jet stream energy along a cold frontal boundary that will then push through the region, it looks like, during the afternoon hours into the evening on Sunday. We're beyond the period now, and then beyond that, looks like we cool on down, but some high pressure will build in for what looks to be a pretty good stretch of fair weather, probably following next week, Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even into Wednesday. Looking at the incrementals and precipitation, what you can see here, European on the left, the GFS ensemble on the right. Notice this color here, yep, that's wintertime snowfall, and that's not that far as the crow flies north of the St. Lawrence River Valley up in the Laurentian Plain, and that's going to be giving a little bit of snow, and maybe even a touch of it in the northern Connecticut lakes here in the northern parts of New Hampshire. That's going to happen tonight. But we're also looking at those gusty winds today, kind of westerly winds, feeding this area of low pressure as it basically starts to weaken and roll out of the region. High pressure gets replaced, and that's what's going to make for a beautiful Wednesday. That's valid at about 11 o'clock Wednesday morning. We get into dry weather all day long, and it looks like into most of Thursday. By the time we get into Thursday morning, we are looking at some weather working on in. This will be just rain shower activity, but some of that could even fall moderately. You could see it here later in the afternoon on Thursday. That gets whisked on out. And then we're setting the stage after 3 chilly days. We're going to start to see a pretty good warm-up as an influx of warmth is going to start to push into the region. And with that, you're seeing those warmer temperatures with the anomalous temperatures I just showed you. These are showers and thunderstorms along a cold front, and this is going to move in not on Saturday. Saturday we're going to have the peak of heating, but by the time we get into Sunday, you can see the Bermuda High is interacting with this and another area of higher pressure beyond it. And the two are going to kind of battle it out with that weakness, and maybe a couple areas of low pressure roll along this frontal boundary, which will work in along about Sunday. Right now, in the longer sort of range, and this is take it with a grain of salt, but it does look like we have high enough wind shear along with warm temperatures and also dew points that will be basically up around 65 on Sunday. And that is the ingredients to get some severe weather going and potentially some impacts for utilities. So heads up on that for next Sunday, although lowered confidence this far out. And last but not least, high pressure will then build into the region. This will bring us, looks like probably 2, maybe 3 days of gorgeous weather. It's going to be next week. We're starting out Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday of next week as that area of higher pressure tracks into the region. You're looking at the GFS ensemble here with the 3-hourly QPF, and you can see that We're seeing little bits and pieces of precipitation, generally light. We have that dry weather on Wednesday, and then the next rainstorm that's going to be working in for Thursday into Thursday evening, and then a drying out process on along about Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, we're looking at some shower and thunderstorm activity as I just showed you. Total precipitation looks like this for the total QPF, and we're going to be a little bit over an inch, but that's by the time we head into the weekend or on the other side of that. 850 hectopascal temperatures about the top of Mount Mansfield. We go down below the freezing mark, and this could be actually what helps get a little bit of snow in the northern Connecticut Lakes region of New Hampshire, and of course toward Quebec City and north of the St. Lawrence Valley up in the Laurentians. But quickly that warms up, and we're looking at that weekend seeing temperatures well above normal. So in terms of precipitation type, I believe we're going to see precipitation types all in the form of rain. Now, what I also want to do is overlay our temperatures again for our warmest temperatures coming up. The 2-meter temperature at surface, that's going to be along about Saturday. And keeping that in mind, take a look at the precipitable waters. That's also going to be relatively high. So we have good moisture influx. Convective available potential energy, definitely a keyed index there, decent amounts of that. And overlay shear, even though the shear has come down, it's still up around 40 knots. And that's a prescription for severe thunderstorm activity with wind gusts, probably some lines and some bow echoes. And for the Weather Prediction Center, 7-day total QPF, they're indicating about 1/4 of an inch in far southern and eastern areas of Vermont. They pick it up to about 1/2 inch, Barre Montpelier area, and then further up near the Canadian border, closer to about 1 inch amounts. And of course, in Canada is where the main event is going to be. Looking at temperatures and their anomalies, this is the climate reanalyzer. You can see here that we're sitting kind of on the edge of that anomalous warmth. Cooler air is starting to funnel on in, but more warmth is starting to break out across parts of the desert southwest and parts of the west. What's that going to do over the period? Well, we're going to see that colder temperature up to the north. This is the next 5 days of meteorological output statistics. And then you can see we're close to neutral in northern areas, about 3 degrees above normal. About 3 days later, looks like this. We really do warm things up once we get in this coming weekend with that heat spike that's going to be developing along about Saturday, and pretty humid conditions and warm conditions to follow thereafter on Sunday. And ending on this note, we have gradient winds, of course, from the west currently right now. So far, I've seen wind gusts around 59 miles an hour at the top of Mount Mansfield, about 40 miles per hour at Minden, and everything else is below thresholds. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.